deafening roar shattered the morning calm. A massive landslide tore down the rugged slopes of the Machan Mountains. A relentless cascade of rock, mud, and splintered trees devoured everything in its path. In Pingwu County, Sichuan Province, China, a quiet village nestled deep in the highlands was obliterated in seconds. Entire homes, simple brick houses where families had lived for generations, were buried under a suffocating blanket of debris. Farmlands that were lush with crops just hours before vanished beneath layers of choking mud. Roads connecting this remote community to the outside world were swallowed whole, leaving nothing but a scarred, unrecognizable landscape. Fencing, lampposts, even people, dragged into the chaos. Children cried for their parents. Elderly residents unable to outrun the flood were carried to safety by neighbors. The scenes were pure chaos. Water swallowing homes, mud burying memories, people fighting for their lives against nature's fury. Emergency sirens wailed through the valleys, a desperate call for help echoing off the mountains. But reaching the affected areas was nearly impossible. Roads to Pingwu were either submerged or blocked by debris, cutting off dozens of families from rescue. In Mian, collapsed bridges and falling rocks made overland travel impossible. Gongyuan's main routes were underwater, stranding entire communities. Rescue teams, military personnel, firefighters, and local volunteers rushed into the chaos. Undeterred by the dangers, they navigated treacherous currents in inflatable boats, pulling survivors from rooftops and rubble. In Pingwu, soldiers waded through mud as thick as cement to free trapped families. Helicopters buzzed overhead, slicing through misty air as they dropped critical supplies, food, blankets, clean water. To remote villages cut off from the world. The scale of destruction was staggering. In Pingwu, entire rows of houses were flattened, reduced to piles of broken wood and shattered tile. Others were washed away completely, leaving no trace they ever existed. In Nanyang, homes sat buried under meters of mud, their interiors choked with sludge. Power lines dangled dangerously, sparking in the rain. Water supply systems were destroyed, communication lines fell silent. Survivors relied on battery-powered radios and torchlight as darkness fell. In Guangyuan, schools, markets, and clinics were inundated. Their contents scattered across the landscape like debris from a shipwreck. Medical tents sprang up on higher ground where doctors and nurses worked frantically to treat the injured. Cuts from flying debris, broken bones from collapses, and hypothermia from hours in floodwaters. Environmental experts sounded the alarm. The danger was far from over. The ground in Sichuan's mountainous regions, saturated by weeks of relentless rain, remains dangerously unstable. More landslides could strike without warning, especially in already scarred areas like Pinggu. Flash floods remain a constant threat, with rivers still swollen and more rain forecast. Authorities issued urgent evacuation orders for vulnerable communities near Mian and Guangyuan, urging residents to seek higher ground. Shelters across the region are filling rapidly, packed with families who have lost everything: homes, possessions, livelihoods. Relief efforts are stretched thin. Supplies are struggling to reach the hardest hit areas, yet the response continues around the clock. Volunteers from across Sichuan are pouring in with food, clothing, and medical supplies.
News, aid updates, missing persons reports. Every crackle of the signal carried hope. Some cried when a loved one's name.
Helicopters deliver aid to remote villages, while ground crews clear debris and search for the missing. Amid the devastation, something remarkable is emerging. In Pinggu, neighbors are banding together, pulling each other from the wreckage and sharing what little they have. Bread, blankets, a dry place to sleep. Strangers are opening their homes to displaced families, offering warmth and hope in the face of loss. In Guangyuan, local businesses are donating supplies. Volunteers arrive from across the province with tools to help rebuild. Messages of support are flooding in from across China, a wave of solidarity matching the floodwaters in strength. Communities are uniting not just to survive, but to reclaim their future. This was more than a landslide, more than a flood. It was a brutal reminder of nature's raw, untamed power, a force that can reduce a village to rubble in seconds. But it's also a testament to the unbreakable spirit of the people of Sichuan. In the face of unimaginable loss, they stand together, digging through the mud, rebuilding their lives, and proving that even in the darkest moments, the will to endure shines brighter than ever. As the waters recede and the debris settles, the people of Pinggu and Mayan are already looking forward. They mourn what's lost, but they refuse to be broken. With every hand extended, every life saved, and every brick laid, they show the world what resilience truly means. But the disaster's reach extended even further. In the mountainous corridors beyond Guangyuan, fresh landslides erupted across Yan, Tianyuan, and Suyong. Near the G318 highway, a massive collapse buried 3 trucks and a motorbike under a wave of rock and earth. Rescuers fought through rubble for hours, pulling survivors from twisted metal, but 5 lives were lost before help could arrive. In Xianfeng County, heavy rains caused a home to collapse in the night while a family slept. Several remained missing. With roads washed out and helicopters unable to land,